Chronograph, why you need it and how we use it in conjunction with our reloading for our guns. The model I got was the Pro Chronograph Digital chronograph. Zoom in on that. I got this from Midway, and the reason I bought this particular model was because it was on sale and it had a very good review with it. I also purchased the setup, which includes a cable and software. There's a USB cable that hooks to the thing and a software disk that allows me to hook up the chronograph to a laptop computer, and then I store the information on a Microsoft, there's the laptop, Excel program. I'll give you an example of what it looks like stored. Because this battery's running low. And then later on, I can go to my laptop and retrieve the information that I need. Kind of gives you an idea. It gives you the velocities. It's basically the same thing that's on display on the computer, and I'll show you later because I take this out, set it up to range, and show you how I use it. But there, this stores the information. I keep the bullet weight, the powder type, and it gives me all the velocities and information in that. And I use this to help me develop my reloads for my different guns. So you can see it there a little bit better. And that's what basically I use it for. Now, for years, I've never used a chronograph. I've always basically just followed the manual, didn't go to the maximum, and kept everything within safety standards, you know, without being reckless. You know, which works if you're with a common caliber, you know, with bullet size, with bullet type and that. And but when you're going in here where we're custom making bullets to match the board, worn bore, or that like I'm doing, chronograph's a good idea. It helps you keep track, see if there's any, what you're looking for is velocity spikes. And also it gives you the extreme spread in that, and you see if the powder in that, like one cartridge, one type of powder is very erratic. You know, I have different velocities and that, and then I use another type of powder and the extreme spread and everything drops. So it's a useful tool. And we'll basically go over the unit itself. It's basically a plastic unit, and you got these, you can't see them from this thing, these eyes here. And what happens is the bullet will pass over these things here. There's two of them, there and there. And that's what makes your time. You know, it tells you the speed or velocity. That's basically all it is. What these diffuser panels on these wires are for is in the bright sunlight, you know, you don't want the sun shining directly on it because it'll give a false reading. So this, you use these on a sunny day. Now if it's cloudy or it's kind of dark out or you're in the shade, you can remove these little panels here. Let me try to get one out. This is all removable. You can remove these. Oh, I think you get, it seems to be stuck. You remove these and then leave the rods to give you a guide to where to shoot. You can remove these panels. Also, if you shoot in an indoor range, this particular model does have a lighting system that you can attach that you can use at an indoor range. So that's kind of why I bought it. There's another type that's a little bit less expensive, but the reviews, people had problems with it, it didn't function, and you know, I opted to go with a laptop as the readout and to accumulate the information. And they made a little device which prints out like a little tiny printer that'll hook to it. And I didn't like the whole setup. It didn't have good reviews, so I went with this model and a laptop computer, which works for me well. And basically, you set this up on a camera tripod, set this out for a rifle like 10 feet away from the muzzle. And it has its basic on and off switch right here. It's how you turn it on and off. And there's also a jack down there to where you can hook this up to the computer with the USB, with the jack. And then it runs on a 9-volt battery. Try to get this here. Here we go. Which goes in there. Let me do this. Okay. Yeah. You got your 9-volt battery, and that goes in this compartment here. And there's a little space in there. Back this up. There's a little space underneath to put a spare, because chances are when the battery goes dead, you will be out on the range and doing something. And that's the little screw there you hook in your camera tripod. So basically that's how it works. Turn it on. We'll get the display going here. It's a little digital display, and you have your review, string change, and replay, delete shot, delete string. You can use these little touchpad things to your string change, to change your different things. You can use this as a standalone. It will record. You have to manually come out and press the buttons, change the string changes, and you can review them and check them yourself. You don't need to hook this up to anything. And it will store, I forget, if you read the manual, it will store quite a lot of shots in here. And but when you put the jack into the computer, all that's done remotely and automatic. All you do is turn this on, and I can change the strings, delete shots and everything from the computer, and that's how I use it. But it's a very useful tool. This one here I like. I haven't had any problems with this model. It's worked fine for me, and it's done everything that I needed it to do. Now I'll add on some other parts where I go out to the range and actually show you how it's used. Alright, now we're going to set up the chronograph setup, and we're going to test some ammo in the Type 99 Japanese rifle. So you got your rest, it's weighted down. I set the rifle in where I'm going to want to shoot it, kind of get an idea to get and make my adjustments to where I want it, my sights. Okay. That's about halfway on the board. Now we're going to go post some targets. Alright, what we want to do here, we're going to post a target more or less in the center, like this. And what we're doing is we're not going for accuracy, and the reason I have this paper all around it is we never fired the gun before, and we don't know where it's going to shoot. And also, when you change the load and the ammunition, it will change the point of impact. And you know, most military guns have fixed sights. So what we're going to do is like aim here, and then we got it covered. And what we're looking for is the size of the group, not so much the accuracy right at the moment. We're going to just shoot at the same point and see which amount of powder gives us the most accurate, tightest group. Okay, so we have our target set up, as you can see, rifle and the rest. Come over here. We have our target set up like this with the rifle and the rest. Now we're going to place our chronograph in place. You want to go back about 10 feet from the rifle. So you get down here. Get it mounted solid. And stop. And you want to kind of come back here and make sure it's lined up right, and you're not coming close to the bottom of this. That the rifle bullet is going to pass through the area. So you double check that, because you don't want to hit the chronograph. Alright, now we got the chronograph in position, and over here on this side you have your switch. Turn it on. Turn it on, and then we install the jack to the computer. Now there's a digital readout there, but what we're going to do is we got the thing on, and we come over here to our laptop, plug it in our USB port, and once we get the computer working, go over to our little icon, double click, and get our readout. So this is basically your screenshot. I don't know if you can see it, but it gives you the information for this. Then what I do is go and double check, because it will store strings. Alright, there's none stored in the memory. So now we're ready. So what we do to start all of this, on the computer, you go over here and we enter your bullet grains. And we're shooting a 174 grain bullet. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got the weight and grains, 174, string 1, everything set, so we're ready to shoot our first set, our first string. Okay. Alright, we're going to load up our gun. Got everything up and running. And we're going to shoot our first 5-shot string out of the Type 99. Give you a velocity over there. Okay, now watch that while I shoot. There's another feature here that you can have the big display. Oh. Okay, that's our 5-shot string. So, you come over to the computer, close our big display down, and get statistics. Get velocities. There we go. Shows our 5 shots, the velocity. Now when we get statistics, shows high velocity, low velocity, average velocity, extreme spread, standard deviation. There's a feature in here for actually graphics. The graph shows you. We had some variance in this. And then what I do is I come over to File, Export, where does it say Archive? Export, and here we go. Now type in 717. And it's 174. And then I just put the powder in. So I have the caliber, the bullet, and the powder weight. And then what I do is export it. Back here. And then this will save it as a Microsoft Excel document, and I have the data stored in later. Then we just go to the next string, which would be string change. And now it'll be string 2. And I basically repeat this till I get all 5 done, and then test the ammo, have all the velocities recorded, and see how it all works out. Basically, that's how you use the chronograph.